No, but I mean, talk normally like to test it to see
Yeah,
if it works.
exactly.
It works fine.
Have you ever done an interview?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it about? What did they ask you about?
But my life.
True.
Yeah, I was in Portugal selling, and these guys came along and said, "Hey man, can we sit down and do an interview with you?" And
So they just thought you were some random fucking homeless dude selling jewelry or
yeah,
something?
I guess so.
Yeah. Do you want
So
more
what are you
questions?
doing? What the fuck are you doing? And I said, I'm selling jewelry.
Mm.
Why? What's my job? Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I've got so many questions. I feel like I've...
Hey, Frankie. If you want, we're doing like a little interview. We're doing a bit of an interview. He's doing a podcast at the moment. How you doing, bud? Okay, I'll come down in half an hour.
Nah, way longer.
No, way longer. Is it really that long?
You can have a break though.
Wow.
Oh, it depends. Depends
Okay,
how much
let's
you
do
want to say. Yeah.
Oh, it depends how much you want to say.
Exactly.
Whatever
Yeah.
I've got to say, of course.
I just got so many questions because
Okay.
I feel like I know like little tidbits of your story, but I've never like.
Well, it's asking about my story, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, for context, I don't know how to put that. For
Yeah.
context, for someone who doesn't know you, I definitely see you. Okay, implanting myself in this.
Yeah.
I have in my Instagram bio the term useful hippie.
Useful hippie.
Have I told you about this before?
No.
So like in one sense, it's like a hippie. It's like bare feet, loving nature, fucking free spirit, doing all that stuff. But especially in a place like this,
But with a cause.
with a cause, like actually doing something in the world, you know, staying fit, you know, giving value to people.
Staying fit.
Right? You know what I mean? Like,
Not really staying fit.
not necessarily that you're, but I definitely see you as an awesome example of useful hippie. Because I mean, look at the place. You're
Right.
this central figure of, sort of now at the very least, I think on the lake for a lot of people come here, not just because you have good food, and you do have good food and all that stuff, but I think if it was just that, not many people would come here necessarily because there's so many places with good food.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I see.
This has soul, and you are that soul.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, yeah. That's we have to embody our souls into stuff, no? Even in the food. Just have to. Fuck, there's no other way to do it. For me, there's no other way to do it. Building something, every little detail I do here, I do it with fucking, I'm doing it because I want to do it and I want to make it look nice as well. You know, it's also my intention, you know, I really intend to make the place from my soul, you know, it's an embodiment of me, I guess. Yeah. Everything I do here is just, yeah, of course, it's me. Yeah.
It's bloody beautiful.
But how can we not? You know, that's my question.
Does it confuse you maybe?
It confuses me. Like, why can't people do that? You know?
I think it's just distraction, to be completely honest.
Distraction to like economic distraction, you mean? Just
Whatever
build something quickly to
distraction.
make some money.
Sure, that can be one version of it, but...
Yeah. Well, this is my home as well, you see, as well. You know, like that's my living room down there. A bigger one with people. That's my social area. Yeah.
No, it's so true. And as I say, you're such a beacon of something. And I'm not going to try to poetically describe who the fuck you are because I'd rather you talk about who you are and maybe we figure it out. Yeah. But I'm so interested in the context of what has led us to this point. Because I mean,
to let us to now.
Yeah, you're a unique character, man. Holy smokes.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why am I here? So the first question is, why am I here?
Sure.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. From the beginning. Have you seen that YouTube thing? I couldn't say
I think I have seen that.
It's just like stuck on the beginning.
So we were just in Guyana, and Josie, the guy who was a few podcasts ago, which I mentioned, we were at dinner, and he kept on doing this. Like we would go cheese, and he was like wanting to eat. He was like this indigenous man.
Okay.
So he just grabbed your beer, went like that, and then just started drinking.
Brilliant. Just waiting for you. I fucking want to drink, man. Yeah, nice one. Bueno, okay. Okay. Born in the UK.
Okay.
When I was 2, I left. Parents left.
2, I got my
fuck it, I'm going. I'm sick of this fucking country. Got my backpack on and gone on a plane. No, they were. My parents were travelers for a long time, and they got these jobs in NGOs in different places. And one of the places they got their job was Nepal. So all of us went to Nepal. The whole family went to Nepal. And
So you just end up in the pool because your parents are doing NGO stuff.
Basically, yeah, that was it. Yeah. And they went to school in South India, blah, 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 and then just grew up in Nepal and South India, right? And then again in Nepal, and then I got fucked off to the UK when I was 18.
Okay, so I'm just going to break apart and dive, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Because even that is just wild.
Okay, it's a story. There's also stories within stories.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, are you going to a boarding school in South India?
Yeah, I went to boarding school in South India.
Okay, and what the hell even
I know.
is
Why
that?
the fuck did they send us to this boarding school? We still talk about it. The three brothers were still like, Mom, Dad, why did you fucking send? I was 11. It was from 11 to 17, basically. 6 years.
Okay.
11 to 17, and we hated it, man. Hated it.
Is it one?
It was a Christian boarding school. Really fucking British Christian boarding school with the old system of caning and kneeling on gravel if you're the detention, all that shit. Like proper, Bible studies in the morning, inspection. We had to stand up every morning for inspection, fingers out, shoes polished, with a smile showing your teeth.
So you have to have brushed your teeth and chopped your fingernails.
Make sure your teeth are clean and blow in their face as well to make sure you brush your teeth. Yeah, fingernails cut to, nicely cut and clean, everything. They check your hands if they're dirty or not as well. Yeah, hair couldn't be longer than your, the top of your ear.
Okay.
Couldn't go over your ears at all.
It's full military stuff.
Oh, it was there's an old system boarding school from the UK.
Because I've heard about that. Like the UK boarding schools were basically designed to create colonists.
Yeah, completely. It was
in India. Holy shit, that's the ultimate version of that.
Completely. It was half. Well, this was recently, but the school had been going on for like 100 years already, more than that, 100 and something years. So in my time, it was recent. It was only the
80s, 90s,
20. Well, 30 years ago when I entered. Obviously, I'm 42 now, so I entered when I was 11, so 31 years ago.
Okay.
So it's still very new, obviously, in this day and age. But it's so the school is like half Indian population, half foreign, and the foreign population the Indian population were very just Christian missionaries basically, and the foreign population NGO workers and Bible bashers basically. Yeah, it was fucking mental.
Did you get caned?
Yeah, we got caned.
For doing what? What kind of things do you get caned for?
To speaking in class or something, or just being a dick. Being rude to the teachers or something.
It's pretty subjective as well. So the teacher just thinks you need a cane.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. We were kids as well, so of course we got ourselves in trouble. And I remember one time where we were a group of us. There was like 5 of us. We were good friends, and there was this new kid in class. And we were just taking the piss out of him, man. Felt really bad about it, It was like, we weren't bullying him, but a little bit maybe. Just like, having some fun.
It's all boys, I presume, as well.
All boys school, yeah. Or the girls were it was a girls' school as well. The girls were there, but they had to go to their own boarding houses in the evening. The buses that took them back to their own boarding house on the other side of town. But the boy told the teachers, and then we got in massive trouble. We had to clean out fucking horrible work for like 4 weeks of when you're eating dinner. All the dump food goes into this big metal cage, and we had to basically clean it all out, and shoveling the shit is fucking horrible, man. Yeah, that was like the worst punishment we had. But they did cane us as well, and we were on our knees and on gravel and stuff. Just like go to the basketball court and put you like kneel down on the gravel for as long as they tell us to.
For what? As a punishment
a punishment as well, talking in class or like cheating maybe as well. I don't remember everything, but I mean something. Yeah.
So did that kind of environment, real quick, breed that discipline, do you think?
Or 100%.
Okay.
It more than discipline, I think it breeded more independence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at you now, I'm like, what's gone in one sense wrong, one sense right, to create you now 30 years on, which is like the exact opposite of the idealized kind of colonizer of
because I mean it's like from 11 to 17 is your most important years of growing up, isn't it? You learn about every you go through puberty. So I never was with my parents during puberty. I was with these random missionaries who are my dorm mothers and stuff, and we hated them. You know, couldn't do. There were so many rules that we just
Do
fucking.
you know what kind of lives those, for instance, those four other friends of yours that bullied that kid? Do you know what they're doing now? Have you ever kept them? Are they living normal
Something.
lives?
No. Something. He was something's a guy called something. He was my best friend actually in boarding school, and he's half German, half French, and he's still in Nepal.
Wow.
He stayed in Nepal. When I left Nepal, I didn't want to leave. I had to leave because I got expelled from school in Nepal.
Okay.
Because I went to India, came back, and I was like, boom. You know, there's no rules anymore. I'm just with my parents. Hated my parents. You know, started smoking loads of dope, getting into drugs, staying all out, missing school, blah blah, blah, and drinking at school, blah, and then I got expelled. And then my parents hated me, man. I hated my parents. It was horrible. It was like, you're fucking going to England now. And so I had to go. Like, there's no other chance. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So even
Yeah.
I'm just trying to paint the image because I don't want to like rush through the story. We were talking to that Ash guy I mentioned as well, that guy in Guyana who's the tour guide, and he had a similar story of going to school in not India, it was Africa, and just growing up with
Oh,
a lot of people that aren't like,
the white guy you talked to me about.
yeah,
Yeah,
was
okay,
that a
yeah.
thing? Was that a
Yeah,
factor?
what do you mean? You're growing up with what? Sorry?
Growing up in India where everyone's Indian and you're not Indian.
Completely. Yeah. We were always just
Do you feel Indian or do you not?
no, not at all. No, don't feel
Mm,
Indian. I wouldn't say like I'm from Nepal or from India, but that's why a lot of people ask me, so where you're from? I always say I was born in the UK. You know, just make it simple because I don't feel
sure.
British either. I don't want to, I don't have an attachment to my country. You know, I love India, I love Nepal, but I don't necessarily like the UK.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, I'm not. I mean, of course, but I was born in the UK, so I just say I was born in the UK. But that's just born. You know, I have experiences outside the UK which made me for who I am, I guess. No,
So you're pretty
but I'm not
detached.
Indian either. You know, I'm just an expat growing up in third world countries. You know,
Just a dude.
just a dude.
Because I feel that. Like, I don't feel much. I don't feel the ability to really. I mean, I was here for what, a year and a half, but I never felt like I could live here for a long time because I feel Australian. I feel like that's my
Yes,
home and
exactly.
my place.
I completely get that as well.
Maybe,
Yeah,
and that's kind of, you
and
don't feel that.
I don't at all. Like I would never live back in the UK ever again in my life.
Mm.
You know, I'd go back for visits and stuff, my parents and brothers and stuff, but living and settling down and no, fuck that, done.
Part of me is
No, it's
like,
not. It's not. Home for me is world. I think. No, I don't have identity with my own country. You know, like I get it, all the identity that people. You know, I'm Australian. I'm German. You know, this is my roots. You know, this is me. You know, I don't feel I have that. Yeah, which is shit for me as well because everyone else does and I don't. You know, but then looking at it, it's fucking great
but it's
because
also
I
freeing
can.
because you can
It's freeing
comfortably live
completely.
here,
Yeah, and I
which
don't have
is
attachment to my own country. And saying that, I don't have attachment to my fucking parents either. You know, which is sad as well in a way. But I don't have I don't miss them. I love them very, very much. But I don't miss them. If I don't see them for 10 years, you know, it's okay. You know, it's like, and they're the same with me
what if
because of the
you.
growing up, or never grew up with them, so they didn't even actually see our, our growth. You know, as kids. Yeah. But they do still feel a bit bad for sending us to fucking boarding school. They do. They would just shut up at the table. They're like, oh, okay, so you want some salad, Tom? Yeah. They do feel a little bit like, oh, maybe, No, but looking back at it, it's the best thing that they ever did. And if I have kids, I'll do the same fucking
Send them
thing.
off to fucking
I'll
boarding
send them to
school.
boarding school. But amazing. I mean, also, look at that, man. They had 5-6 years, of hands
Freedom.
off, of the hardest years of a kid, you know. They
Outsource
were
it to some
hands off. They were
missionary.
just on fucking holiday all the time. You know, they went trekking the mountains in Nepal. They were living in Nepal. I was in South India. I saw them once every 6 months. Once every 6 months. In summertime, we had like 4 weeks off, so we went back to Nepal for 4 weeks with a group of people at school who also the parents lived in Nepal. So we traveled up together in trains, and that was fucking
Including my
amazing.
best
There's
friend.
great fucking trips we had traveling back to Nepal
At like 15.
at 15, alone with a group of friends. But all the itineraries were set out for us by our parents, and we followed it, and we got there, no problem, no hoo-ha at all,
Sure.
But it was fucking amazing, the trips we had on the way back and the way up and the way back. Yeah, we started training up, and then towards the end, like the last 3 years, I don't know why, but we started planing it, going by planes.
Okay.
I think our parents started making some money or something. I don't know. Weird. Yeah.
Mental.
Or it was just faster, or I don't know, connections were faster, or just like airports opened up and stuff. And yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Did you, or have you? You might not have ever felt and thought about this stuff, but there's obviously a place in every kid and teenager's life and psyche for a parent. So did you replace, if it weren't your actual parents, did you
Yeah.
replace that with other male and like father and mother figures?
No.
Was it really just your mates?
Good question. But no, our mates, yeah, we were brother. We still got this WhatsApp group, and it's called Hebron School Class of '98 or something, and it's here. And we don't talk much, but it's boring because they talk about fucking cricket all the time. That's it.
Yeah.
Bunch of Indians.
That's the one
Our close
comment.
Indian friends that are, well, they've emigrated now to the States. Some are in England. Others are actually still in India. But it's all they talk about is. But we know that we're brothers because we grew up together in in the most important years of growth. And recently, actually, someone is having a hard time. I think he broke up with his wife and his kid was very sick or something and on the verge of dying and stuff. So we're there fucking. Well, I haven't seen him in 25, 30 years. But we were all there, saying, "Hey, man, you got your brothers next to you, man. We're good, like yeah." So it's funny that we're not in contact. I'm not in contact with anyone except all my mates are in this WhatsApp group, but we just don't need to be anymore, because we just know that it's all good, Like if he comes over, someone calls me, says, "Tom, come over and visit you in Guatemala." I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, come and stay as long as you like, you're my bro."
Yeah.
Yeah. Even my blood brothers, same thing, like I don't see much of them either, but same, yeah. It's like, yeah.
This is starting to unravel something that, okay, the useful hippie thing I started with is one of two things I think in my head, kind of summarize you as. The other thing I see quite clearly, and it's everything has a shadow side as well. So the bad side is I almost see you in social settings unable to say no, unable to set boundaries, which in one lens is you can't have time for yourself, you can't prioritize, you can't do this and that. I think that's a very Western mindset.
Yeah.
What I also see is the beauty of it. You have time and space and a listening ear.
Yeah, for people.
Absolutely. Not just people. Absolutely everyone, as far as I've witnessed it.
Yeah.
Which is very, very rare. And that maybe stems, and I'm sure it will track throughout the whole journey, from that time.
I guess so, man. I mean, India as well, we were brought up in the Hindu culture as well, it's a Christian school, but we were around all Hindu, whatever, and Buddhist. There's lots of Buddha. I mean, not even, there are lots of people within the school as well were Hindu and Buddhist as well. But
at the same time?
At the same, no. There are Hindu people and Buddhist people and Christian people. It was all a mix of cultures. It was a Christian school, very fucking Christian school. But it was open to other faiths coming in. Islam, there's lots of Muslims there as well, But it was, you had no choice. You had to go to fucking church. I don't care if you're Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim. You're going to a Christian church and you have to do that every fucking Sunday. We had to march to church, man. But this is the weird thing. So like you were saying, like, do you feel Indian? It's like, how were the people there looking at you and stuff as a kid? That was weird as well. We were just these random white kids in the small little town in India. It wasn't a big town. It's called Uti, on the top of a mountain, on top of like a hill station, but an old English hill station. That's what it was. And we had to walk to church every fucking Sunday. Not walk, we had to march to church in lines. We had to walk at least 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers or something, 2.5 kilometers, 3. Going up. I remember they were going through Charing Cross. Then because it's English, one of the main station, the main roundabout, Charing Cross. Then going up the hill and in church, and we had to walk straight up, man, like march with the warden in front, and everyone was all the Indians. They just staring.
They're just on the side of the road, like with their fruit stand. Like,
yeah, completely. Some beggar just, and someone getting a tooth pulled out on the other side of the road, and yeah, it's fucked up, man. Yeah. We never thought anything about it because we were kids, so it's like, yeah, all right, this is what people generally do, I guess. We're white boys, but that came later, obviously, because we didn't know. We were following rules in the school. We had to march to church, and that was it. Yeah.
Sure. So you obviously then moved to England, and I'm sure you've got maybe your brothers, for instance.
Yeah, they went through the same as well.
Who went through the same and now live quote unquote normal
They
lives.
do. Yes, they do. They're family orientated now. They got kids. Both of them
in England.
They're married in England, and they got kids, and they got a house and a garden. They got
doing the thing.
They're doing the thing. Why? I don't know why. Actually, man. My brothers are fucking cool because my brothers are smart. That's probably why. Because they're smart. They know. they're happy, you know. They enjoy being in the UK and enjoy their families and stuff. And they're older than me as well. Yeah. So I think me being the youngest as well, could see the world through their eyes as well, and it wasn't for me. Like England, I fucking hated the UK. Hated it, man. It was coming from Nepal straight to England. I didn't know shit. I was British. I didn't know shit, man. Fucking hell. It was the like massive fucking culture shock when I was 18. I didn't know anything. 18 years old. I had no idea how to fucking use a debit card. Never had one. Pardon, you don't use it. I always, pocket money for my parents or whatever. And I never even had a job in Nepal. I lived a very sheltered life as well in Nepal and India. It was very just like that. When I went into the real world, which is, you're by yourself. And it was like, full power learning, man. I didn't get anything. I was lost as fuck, man. Lost as fuck.
How did you land in England?
What do you mean?
Like that first month, were you staying?
So hard, man. So hard. I think I was looking for a girlfriend as fast as I could. That's what I was doing.
Is that how it worked in
And I
Nepal?
did meet one, actually. No, Nepal. What do you mean? Nepal? No.
As
no,
in, was that a
I think
common
I was
thing?
looking for a security when
Right.
I was in the UK. So
Okay.
looking for a girlfriend. Had to find one. Someone to fucking because I was scared, man.
Yeah.
I was fucking scared. I didn't get anything. Couldn't understand people. I was still doing the hand movements. Like that meant, and this means I don't have in Nepal. And I was still doing that, and they were like, "What the fuck? What does that mean?" So I got fuck. Sorry, I don't have. I was still doing all these, weird gestures that I grew up with as a kid in Nepal and India, and it was a fucking mindfuck. Yeah,
Compared to your brothers, then,
yeah.
were you at 18 way more Nepalese or Indian than them?
Yes, I think I got more. Yeah, I got more into being living in Nepal and India than they did. Like,
Why?
I don't know. I think it was like the 2 years after I went to school in India. I went to Nepal. Back to, and there I really I was 17, 18, and that was when I learned the Nepali language a little bit more than brothers, obviously, because they went from India straight to the UK. Like everyone else finishing their A levels, they went straight to the UK. That was part of the thing. I was, okay. I don't know why my parents said, come to Nepal first and maybe you can do your A levels here. Maybe they saw me as different as well, maybe they saw me as different. I don't know why they didn't send me straight to the UK, but I think they knew as well. They knew me, that I wasn't the same as my brothers who could handle everything and stuff, and they're sorted. But they also had really fucking hard times in the UK when they arrived, They said, I talked to them back then as well. Like, how was it for you guys settling in the UK? They said, Tom, man, it's fucking hard. But it took us, a good 6 months and we're fine. For me, I never, I made some good mates in the UK, grew up big time, went to university in Scotland in the end, super kick-ass, amazing times. But I always knew I am not fucking living in this country. And finished my last exam at university when I was 22, 23. Full stop. I was just looking for fucking jobs. From my degree, I did marine resource management, right?
Okay.
And I found a fucking quick job in Dominican Republic.
No shit.
Yeah, it was fish farming. And they gave me a stipend, they paid for my flights. I had no money, but they paid for my flights. They gave me a stipend every week, free place to live, and it's working on a fish farm. And that was basically labor work. That was it. It was fucking shit. But it got me out, and I was on that fucking plane straight away. I was gone. Yeah, my parents were concentrating on my brothers as well, because they also just started their jobs and stuff, and they're, so I was actually lucky being the youngest, because I could just weave around a little bit and just sneak out and go.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was done. Yeah, I couldn't, I didn't hate I did have a hate for England. I didn't really know when I was younger. I didn't want to go back ever, blah, blah, because a lot of shit happened to me there as well. It's like I got really traumatized in the UK because I just didn't understand society, and no one understood me, and I was just growing up slowly there as well, like what's going on, man. Just didn't get it. And then when in my 20s I started making peace with the UK, with England, and that's completely fine. It's just a fucking country with other people, that's all it is. Everyone's fucking same, so why are you any different? Just be yourself. And that's basically what put me, yeah, I had to grow. It's growing up. That was it. Growing up in my 20s and 30s as well.
Is there any moment in those few years of studying in Scotland or being in England in general that you can really pinpoint or feel like this just accentuated the fact I can't live here? For me, I think about
in
getting
in UK.
Yeah, I think about getting a parking fine or something. It's like,
Oh no.
I hate this place. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, Western culture, society, Western society,
What's the first thing you think about when you say that?
control, and
Control.
how people are just fucking robotic in a way. Not robotic, but just in their own fucking narrow minds. I think that was it mainly. Yeah, I couldn't get it, and they couldn't get me. I was always like the odd one.
How do you see
I
that
made some
being
good
played
friends, and
out?
they were the ones who really like, okay, that's they opened, because they were also like they're in university more than anything else, started reading. Anyway, yeah. But I mean, it was just like I think mainly it's a society thing. Like I didn't get what you could do, what you couldn't do. I was walking in the middle of the road thinking it was all right. You're in Nepal, you're in India, no problem. Just weave around the car, it's all right. No, everyone's like, what the fuck? Yeah, you gotta fucking.
Are you like, what the hell, guys? This is perfectly fine.
I know, exactly. Yeah, I was naive as fuck. Totally naive about the Western world, man. I had no idea, dude. So I didn't have that break-in, and no one told me anything about it either. I was just like, from Nepal, plop, there you go. Here you are in the UK. So that was another boarding school experience. I went to boarding school in the fucking UK.
Oh, really? As well?
Yeah, from 18 to 20.
Okay.
2 years in A levels.
Is that okay? That's school. Okay.
Yeah, I went to boarding school there. It was Falkland. It was the place where I was, Peter Simmons College in Winchester. Brilliant. We had a good time in the end. It was hard for me, but in the whole scope of thing, it was a fucking good place. But I lived in a boarding house where my mama was a policewoman, and I was already smoking a lot of dope, so I was just stoned all the time, and I got suspended like 4 times from that because she was fucking always on my fucking case. Because my brother also went to that same boarding school. And then there was 2 peas in the pot. She saw me as my brother, basically. Yeah. She hated my brother, and then she ended up hating me because I was the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you since, maybe it wasn't in the moment, but have you since reconciled that hatred or at least extreme discomfort with the West? Because quite clearly rules like you can't walk in the middle of the road save people from getting killed by traffic.
Of course. That's just a silly example.
But I love it. Right? Because there's so many examples where you live in the third world and yes, you can do anything. But in the first world, there's so many rules, but those rules have a kind of power to them by...
I mean, it's a developed country. Right. So they have these rules because they are a developed country, and then, it has to be very to like control. That's the way it is. That's why I'm here. Because I can build a place like this. I can't do that in the UK. No. But it's
does part of you wish you could just toe the line in the West?
It's the way it is, though, man. That's of course, like, you could reconcile with it. I reconciled it years ago, of course, because I grew up and I realized, well, that's the fucking world, whether you like it or not. That's the way it is, man. I'm not. The UK is going to be the UK. The States going to be the States forever. This is just the way. It's the way the world is completely. If it started differently, maybe it would have been a different world. I don't know.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. We could live in many parallel universes. There could be another complete different UK, which is, I don't know, maybe poor, and Guatemala is fucking the rich one, and it's got all these skyscrapers and stuff.
The Mayans just found gunpowder, and
or Mayans still survived. They survived the fucking colonization, and they're still like full power with the pyramids and wearing all their feathers and shit, walking around and trading cacao and shit. They could be doing that still, yeah. But reconcile with the UK, of course, because I just realized that, well, that's the world, man. I woke up, like thinking, okay, that's, I don't need to be part of it. I can watch it, and say, okay, cool, but that's not for me because I know myself. I can make that. I could make a conscious decision afterwards. A conscious decision to saying that, it's not for me. Not for any reason, but because it's just not for me. Yeah,
that's
cool. I see both sides. It's like,
it requires like a significant amount, I think, of as you say, self-knowledge. I know myself, it's not for me. Yeah, but also backing that. Actually acting that out and going against what maybe people tell you should do. Oh, you should be doing
of course. And that was also a hard one. Yeah, definitely. My parents were also very,
they're probably not encouraging you to go to a fish farm in Dominican Republic.
No. They wanted me to, they were happy for the experience, but they thought I was going to be there just for a gap year. But then I never came back. And then I started selling jewelry on the street and shit, and they were very happy about that at all.
Okay, let's keep on going through the story then. So what was this fish farm like? Because
shit.
Man, someone said
fucking mad, man. Again, this is just like, it was a hell of an experience. Again, it was great. I got fired because of the, I just couldn't be fucked anymore. And these guys were assholes. They were just like, full power capitalist, fuck the environment, just make money, and that was it. And we were the labor, shrimp.
Shrimp.
Yeah.
The German bloke today, he mentioned that you killed 1 million shrimp.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear that. He said that. Yeah, so that was on that fish farm. So that's how I got fired. Because it was a hard job, man. What you had to do was, I was doing it because everything was fucking free. But one day I was just fucking knackered, man. I had to wake up 5 times a night, like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. I had to wake up. Oh, no worries, it's right. Just felt that. And every 2 hours I had to go out and feed all the fucking shrimp, right? Well, I did it for
just
3
chucking
months.
Chucking
out buckets, yeah, lifting up this wheelbarrow full of shrimp food, and just like, you turn on the aeration system, switch some off, you have to get the pH levels right and shit like that. And one night I was like, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep the whole fucking night. And I did. I just slept without a care in the world, man. Boss came knocking on the door and was like, "Hey, Tom, you up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm up. Yeah. Have you fed the shrimp?" "Yeah, I did it all, man." I was like, "Oh no, fuck." He's like, "Can you open the door, please, Tom? We got a problem." I was like, "Oh, fuck, man, what's happened?" "Oh, man." He's like, "Are you sure you woke up last night and fed all the shrimp, 4 times that night?" And I was like, "Yeah." Big lie. And I was like, "Well, they're all dead."
How many's all?
Fuck.
How big is this?
Oh, huge. Ponds are huge. I was in charge of like five pilot project ponds.
What is that for context? Like a normal swimming pool kind of, is it that?
No, it was like, maybe the size of 2 big swimming pools. 2 Olympic swimming pools, let's say.
Olympic swimming pools?
Yeah. That's 1 tank.
And 5 of them?
And I was in charge of 4 of them. Yeah. And there's millions of little baby shrimp in each tank.
And they're all dead.
All of them dead. They needed aeration. It was off the whole night. They died, suffocated.
One night, though.
Yeah. They're tiny, so they had to get everything. All the little tiny, like the food we gave them was powder. You're throwing in powder basically, and it's like the aeration system basically mixes all up and then gets to other parts of the pond.
How much money do you reckon these blokes lost?
Oh, millions. If not hundreds of thousands, so obviously. But it was like, "Tom, pack your bags, go please." And I was like, "What? Oh, really?" And then that's when life properly happened. I was like, "Okay, fuck. Now what do I do?" I didn't tell my parents. They didn't find out until a year later. And I was just traveling around Dominican Republic doing odd gardening jobs and just helping out the gringos doing in their house. And that's when I got into jewelry.
So you're just knocking on doors, being like...
Yeah. I went to, specific parts of Dominican Republic where you see a white man and there's nice beaches and stuff, really fucking amazing beaches. And I just spent a year in the end just on the beach, basically helping out the gringos that lived there a little bit.
Are you camping on a beach at this point?
No, I was living in a whorehouse, actually, man. It was a whorehouse, man. Yeah.
What?
I had a little room inside a fucking whorehouse.
So this is the kind of detail we need to fucking squeeze out of this lemon.
And then that's when I got into jewelry. I started to find all these beautiful seeds in Dominican Republic. You got all these fucking beautiful seeds, and you pick them up everywhere, in jungle and on the trees. I had abundance of vegetation. And then I bought a little Dremel and I put holes for them and I just put strings in them. And I started selling them to tourists.
Okay. A few bucks here and there.
A few bucks here and there, yeah.
In between your gardening hours?
Yeah, it was fun. It was great. No, it was fun. Yeah, brilliant. That's free, But still I had my parents in the back of my head going, "What am I going to say, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to say." And then they found out in the end. I tell the whole story, and it's like, "Well, Tom, you're going to come back to the UK." No, so the owner of the fish farm said, "Oh yeah." So I carried on surviving because the owner of the fish farm, when he kicked me out, he said, "Well, the deal was that I pay you for your flight back. So here's your flight." And I said, "No, I'm not going back. Can I take the money instead?" And he gave me the money.
Wow.
It was like
so it's a pretty good bloke then. It must have been.
Huh?
He must have been a half decent bloke.
Oh, he's a good guy. Yeah. I was the one who fucked up.
Yeah. Because I can imagine in a dodgy place like the back end of Dominican Republic, someone just fucking wanting to swing a machete at your arm for not.
Yeah, exactly. He was. He was a good guy, but the company he stood for was a fucking mess. Horrible fucking
capitalistic.
Completely capitalistic. Horrible.
Wow. So even then, okay. So just to zoom in on this a bit, your daily life, if you can take yourself back, your daily life, you wake up in this whorehouse of a morning.
Yeah.
What's next?
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach, smoke some weed still.
Yeah, smoke some weed, go for a swim and sit down in this little cafe on the beach that I always sat down in and made bracelets and necklaces and stuff and talked to tourists and shit.
Just talk shit to tourists. You're like 22, 23 at this point.
I was 23, 23, 24.
See, my age.
Yeah.
Cool. And can you take yourself back into how you were thinking about yourself in the world? Because I think and I won't speak for you, maybe you were different, but myself certainly, and most of my friends at that age, at 20, man in his 20s, I think is kind of vehemently seeking a place in the world for himself. Did you have that sense at all?
I was on adventure, man.
You were just going for it.
I was just going for it, man. Yeah, I was just...
You hadn't seen anything closely resembling what you wanted?
No way. No, I'm looking back at it now. You know, if I had this mind when I was 23, I would have bought fucking land in Dominican Republic. Beautiful place. And it was cheap then. But I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just on adventure. I wanted to travel and, you know...
See things.
And the reason I was in this part of the world is because I knew Nepal and India and Asia. So I wanted to see what Latin America and Caribbean was like, you know? Well, Latin America mainly. Caribbean was just like a stopover just to get here.
Sure.
So that's the whole reason I found that I applied to this job, because I was going to the other side of the world, which could be a bit like Nepal. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And do you know what you were looking for? Was it like
I was looking for Nepal.
You're looking for Nepal?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just go to Nepal?
Because I was interested in the other part of the world.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been to Nepal. I was always thinking about, I'll check it out. I'm going back to Nepal. You know, that was the idea. Still is the idea, but it's stretched out a bit longer.
It might be like me with Far North Queensland, to be honest.
You reckon? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you're doing this life, waking up in the whorehouse, smoking a bit of weed on the beach, making jewelry in the cafe, selling to tourists, maybe throwing the odd gardening job. This was for a year?
That was for a year. And then I had a mate who was going to Haiti, who was a diplomat in Haiti.
Okay.
French guy, working the embassy there. He's like, come, you can just go through the border, no problem. You don't need...
Because that's the other half of the island.
That's the other half of the island. So I went through and I spent like 4 or 5 months in Haiti, which was fucking amazing.
Haiti's really dodgy and dangerous, right?
Fuck, man. It's like, wow, man. The difference between Dominican Republic and Haiti, it's a whole opposites, man. Like, wow, same island, but you can actually see it. Like in Dominican Republic, all the trees were there, you know, on the border, and you go to Haiti and it's all just shaved land and nothing, just barren. All the wood's been cut down.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's a mad place, man. But the most beautiful people fucking ever, man. I just went off in the mountains and walked all the way from the city to the beach. It took me like 4 days. But the people I fucking met, man, there were the most amazing people ever. Fucking Rastas. And I was walking through the town. I didn't know where to go. It was in the evening time as well. And it's fucking getting cold because it was on a hill. And suddenly all these Rastas came around and started encircling me in a circle. And I was getting worried. Like, what the fuck? What's happening, man? They said, hey, man, everything okay? And they passed around a split. And we were all smoking. And I said, okay, I was in the middle of the circle. And all of them were around me. They were keeping me warm. The wind was, you know, they were just, you know, looking after me. And I spent the whole night with those guys.
Are you just going with a backpack?
With a backpack, just walking down to the fucking beach. And these are the most beautiful. Haiti, man, the people in Haiti are the most loving, fucked up country. It's fucked up.
And you never saw fucked up things?
I saw fucked up things in that town. Fucking kids were eating fucking mud. You know, like you see, like in Africa, they make mud cookies to fill their stomachs. In Haiti, they're doing exactly the same. Well, actually, the kids were eating mud. Because it's Africa in the Caribbean. Literally. Same. I've never been to Africa. But reading National Geographic magazines and on the news and into, you know, you have a sense of Africa, you know? And Haiti was completely that for me, man. Like I was in Africa, completely in Africa, dude.
My God.
Yeah, all the big voodoo shit and all that. So, man, full power, dude. Like,
yeah, that's where it's from, isn't it?
People like, there was all this fucking violence in the city as well.
So how did you find yourself navigating that? It doesn't sound like you had much fear in you.
No, I was just enjoying life, man. I was stupid as well, which was great. Because if I wasn't stupid, I would have done any of that shit, you know? I kept it quiet as well. Didn't tell my parents hardly anything because I knew they'd be like, nah. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to see. It's the world, man. I need to go and see it.
Yeah. And as you say, without parents, but more importantly, without anyone to replace your parents in a functional utilitarian way, you're really just an orphan kid going through the world.
At that time, I guess I was, yeah.
You don't have to you don't have to answer to what British society's going to think of you or your parents going to think of you.
I was completely forgotten about, dude. That was like, no.
Did you have mates or family that you would keep check with and kind of anchor you in this world, or were you literally just fully free spirit? Because what's the difference between you and like a homeless person?
Really, no. Like, I didn't really need to have any. Like,
we ever
best friend, had best friends at school and stuff and this and that, but I guess we're in contact, but never really.
Because if I think
it was my journey, you know what I mean? In a way, it wasn't. I didn't need to tell anyone about it, really.
Because if I think about myself doing that, like, and obviously because I've got friends and family and stuff, it's different. But if I try to deny them, it would feel like me jumping off a cliff socially.
Yeah, but it wasn't me trying to deny anyone. I wasn't trying to deny anyone. There. It just wasn't there.
So instead of me jumping off a cliff, falling to my death, you were just flying.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I didn't, all life and making friends and social were everywhere around me anyway, all the time. I was always
temporary, right?
Yeah, temporary, always temporary. I never really. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember, but all I had was an email address back then. Didn't have any phones or anything. No, of course not. But I must have written emails to my mates and stuff. Maybe my mates in Nepal and some in England still, and but not. I was more just into my own thing, do my own fucking thing, and not.
So there were no relationships with friends or girls or villages in Haiti.
I met a girl in Dominican Republic, and she was an Argentinian girl, and we were together. And she went back to Argentina, and I went to Haiti, and then we met up again when I left Haiti to get to finally Central America.
Okay, so that was maybe one example of a relationship that was a bit less temporary and still lives in your head and heart.
Yeah. I mean, she was also new for me because she was not a very good English-speaking Argentinian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And you presumably learned Spanish.
For me,
just
that was also an adventure, and it was all part of the adventure. I wanted to just find new things completely. Like, I don't know. She was beautiful, man. She was That was one girl I let go of, man.
What's her name?
Jenny Arrocha. Then we met each other again in Latin America.
Wow.
And then when it stopped there,
Okay. Because so you're in Haiti, you get to the beach presumably after 4 days.
Say again? Yeah.
You get to the beach. Is this a tourist beach where you can make jewelry?
It's called Jacmel. No, Haiti wasn't. No. Haiti wasn't tourist. There are tourist beaches in Haiti, but they're all closed off from the country. So there's a fucking wall there. And no one even knows. So the cruise ships get off into these beaches. But they don't tell them that you're in fucking Haiti.
You're in the Caribbean.
Yeah. No, you then know they're in Caribbean.
Yeah.
But they don't tell them that they're in Haiti for specifics.
You're in Hispaniola.
Yeah, exactly. It's like something like that. They must say that some
island.
Island. Yeah, because Haiti's in dire straits all the time.
Wow.
Dangerous and just but there's a massive wall. Apparently, I never went to this beach, but apparently there's like a massive wall, and only people who have these special tickets can go and sell to the tourists on the beach. They go through this door, and these tourists
Have you heard about the Spanish cities in Moroccan coast? There's 2 or 3 of them. I forget their name. Where it's a city just on the Mediterranean coast, but in Morocco.
Yeah.
But it's actually part of Spain. So they have these crazy 7 walls of defense with barbed wire and everything. Sutra, I think, is one of them, and there's another one. Okay. And a lot of the African immigrants will try to, instead of crossing the Mediterranean in a boat, will try to go over these 7 walls and then technically be in the EU, even though it's on African soil.
Okay, of course, yeah.
Kind of have that image in my head of.
Oh right, I gotcha.
Access to the tourist dollars.
Yeah, exactly, same shit, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you doing in Haiti for 4 months? You said.
Oh man. Oh fuck. I don't know what I was doing. Oh yeah, fuck, man. I wasn't doing much. I was just hanging around.
And you've had these dreadlocks since you were 17, right? So you must have been 6 years into Rasta version of yourself as well.
I guess so. Yeah.
Must have been getting some length by then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Fit in.
Remember. Yeah,
White Haitian.
Yeah. That's probably why also the old Rastas came around me, because it's like, oh, dreadlock white boy, look, Yeah.
Almost one of us.
Almost one of us, exactly.
I remember meeting this guy, this German bloke, so white German bloke, with his blonde dreadlocks in Cuba. It was like middle of nowhere, Cuba. I think there was maybe 2 places where tourists could stay, so
Yeah.
he meant no one. And I really got taken in by a local family. But he had just been to Jamaica, and he wasn't depressed, but he was a bit down.
Yeah.
Because he'd just been in Jamaica, and his whole life in boring Western Germany, and he was maybe like you, the weird Rasta kid who really doesn't find a place and fit in.
Yeah.
And Jamaica had been such a symbol of what I believe in and the kind of world and society I want to live in.
Yeah.
And then he went to Jamaica, and since I've heard many similar reports from Jamaica of it just being maybe similar to Haiti, like fucked up.
Yeah, fucked
just
up.
seeing murders in the street
Amazing.
and just like all sorts of crazy stuff.
You asked me what you're doing in Jacmel. It comes to mind now that I was really actually wanting to understand the whole voodoo thing and see it for firsthand. And I lived with this crazy fucking in a shithole. I lived in a shithole. I got fucking scabies, man. That's when I had to go. I had to leave Haiti because I got scabies.
What are scabies?
Scabies. Sarna, what dogs get.
Oh, like mange.
Mange. I got fucking mange, dude. All over my bally area, my ass, my chest, everything. Scratching for like probably three weeks. I was just walking down the road, scratching everything, and everyone thought I was fucking mental. Crazy. I had to stand up in the bus, pull down my pants, and scratch my balls. With all these Haitians going, this was looking at me. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah, that's why I had to leave, man. I got really fucked up with mange. Yeah,
that's the most ridiculous thing I've.
Nothing worked. All these creams I couldn't fucking do until I went to Panama. I found a pharmacy and sorted me out. Yeah. 3 days later, I was fine. Yeah.
So what did you find out about voodoo before you got mange?
Oh man, voodoo fucking fucked up.
All I know about voodoo is the voodoo doll.
I think it's all bullshit.
What's the real voodoo?
I don't know. I think it's all fucking bullshit, man. I don't know, man. To me, it was just like, went to the ceremony. Of course, it was all Haitian, and it's just like I got invited to a ceremony. And it was, what made it bullshit in my eyes was the following. Well, we're all just sitting, and suddenly this woman begins to become possessed by some spirit, trying to get possessed or something. She's doing something, and then she gets invoked and possessed by the spirit. And this spirit is a hungry spirit, apparently, So she just, she's there just like asking people for everything and give me. She was all just had a bunch of food in front of her and she was eating until, I mean, she ate a shit ton of food. There's chicken and
this is
beef
in poor Haiti where kids are eating mud.
Exactly. I know, exactly. There's a fucking ton of food. I think the ceremony is just like, they believe it so fucking much that it's, it's an important part of the culture. And this woman was eating and eating and eating and eating. Full power, all this yuca and meat and chicken and stuff, sacrificing shit as well at the same time, blood fucking pour. It was a fucking disaster, man. It was mad. She'd get chili in her hand and she rubbed her fanny, rubbed her armpits and with chili and just and dancing around doing all this shit. And then she was asking everyone for money. And the first person she came to, me. That was the first. I was like, oh, bullshit. Of course, I'm a fucking white boy. You come to me and ask for money, I just hid it behind my friend in the end. I was a bit scared, yeah. But I don't know if it's bullshit. I don't know, man. But I went to another one with this guy. There's a voodoo priest. And I went to his fucking temple, his shrine and stuff. And there was all these photos upside down of people. I was like, why are the photos upside down? He said, no, you're gone. Yeah, I'm dead.
Oh.
And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. The people come and tell me to kill this person, and I kill him, just by doing all this voodoo shit and put his photo upside. I don't know what the fuck he does, but I said, well, how do you know? He said, no, it comes in the newspaper. This person died mysteriously of I don't know, malaria, and this one also died.
Shit.
Yeah. So that's made me think like, what the fuck, man? So it got some. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just do not know. I'm still undecided of what.
But you saw a bit of it.
But I saw a bit of it.
Had a taste.
Yeah, had a taste and spoke to this guy for fucking ages and yeah.
And then got mange. We're like, okay, let me get back to something that remotely kind of looks like the West.
Yeah, it's like the West, exactly. Yeah, and Panama was that actually. That saved me in the end.
Okay, yeah. So you flew to Panama City.
But that was also a fucking story because I didn't come in Haiti with the passport stamp because I was in a diplomatic car. So I'm leaving Haiti.
I've done that before. Yeah,
I
it's
know,
not great.
fucking hell,
Especially
not
in the
great,
airport,
man.
that would be
In
terrible.
the airport, terrible, dude. I was shitting myself. I had to get. My flight was leaving in half an hour, and I was just like, what the fuck? I was late for my flight anyway, and I was just at the check-in desk on time, and blah blah. But the flight was off, and I had to go. The big fucking police escorted me to the chief station and the airport. So I had to walk. And I was like, fuck, I was surrounded by two Haiti policemen. I was fucked. I think I'm going to be in jail, man. I got totally paranoid and like, oh, man, I'm fucked, dude. What am I going to do? I want to tell my parents. What am I going to tell my brothers? No.
I'm in Haitian jail.
Yeah, being in Haitian jail, I got
being free in Haiti isn't the best, let alone.
I know, dude. Fuck, I was
So
fucking
did you
scared.
go in a diplomatic car because it's hard to get into Haiti otherwise? Like, why were you sneaking into Haiti to begin with?
Because I wanted to check it out.
But it's hard to get a visa otherwise.
I think you could do, but I got a free ride on a diplomatic car, so I didn't even think about it. I was just dumb. I was stupid again. I was young, fucking didn't care.
Okay, so
I got to get to the airport, and then they fucking take me to this fucking guy.
Yep.
And I was like, my fucking flight is leaving in half an hour. I guess I'm fucked. I got all paranoid and stuff. They sat me down in the chair on the fucking metal bench, and this big fucking Haitian guy was there in front of a desk, just rude as fuck, and it's like, fuck, scary fucker, man. And then he says, hello, so what do you do? He didn't speak very good English. And I was like, I tried to explain to him, in the simplest English I could, that I went to this car, diplomatic, it's got their French Creole, no?
Yeah.
So I tried a little bit of fucking skimmy woos with my French, no? And like, diplomatic, no, say yo, no, stampa. And it was just like, why, and what will you do? How do you like my country? And I was like, Haiti, I love so much, very good, very lovely, best country in the world, no, perfect, beautiful people, beautiful. And it's okay. It took like 5 minutes we were talking, and he was like, next time, come my house, my house. And I was like, what does he mean? Fuck. And it's actually just being a fucking beautiful boy.
Yeah.
He was saying, come and stay with me, no problem. And I was like, all right, so that means I can fucking go then. It's already in my mind. I can fucking go, really. And I was like, I will, definitely, 100%. I come back to Haiti, and he gave me his number and everything, all that. Massive smile on his face afterwards, it's all this big and a fucking massive smile afterwards.
Brilliant.
I was like, thank you very much. Thank you. They're very kind. And then got through checking quickly, got on the plane. I was going into economy class, and they were like, pull me back. He's like, no. The guy put in a phone call and put this guy in first class. So he put me in fucking first class to Panama City, man.
That's
fucking great.
Very good. Oh my God.
I mean, he'd never seen, didn't see many white, travelers especially. I'm sure there's all these UN workers. And Haiti was full of UN workers. Full of UN workers, man. Like white UN workers from Europe, yeah.
Because they had some
but travelers, I didn't meet not one single, like,
no.
Actually, in Guatemala, I went there was an old lady who was like in her 70s, and she was from France.
Okay.
But
there's always some weird old French person everywhere.
And she became the only one I could actually, she was like, come to my house and eat,
Yeah.
Complete character. Left France ages ago and lived in fucking Haiti, the only fucking foreigner living in that town,
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, and then I got to Panama and fucking went to a pharmacy, put that cream on, and 3 days later...
Were you in first class, itching your mangy balls?
Yeah, must have. I don't remember. Must have. Yeah.
Have another champagne, please.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And then that's how I came to Latin America then. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah. After those travels in Dominican Republic and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so... You've been in the lake, what, like 15 years, I think?
First time I came was 2010.
2010.
But then I fucked off for like a year and a half to South America just to travel.
Okay.
Selling Drew with my gigs.
And when was that Panama flight? Do you remember what year that would have been?
That year would have been... Because I lived in Costa Rica then for like 2 years. I spent a year in Nicaragua as well before I came to Guatemala.
Shit.
So I don't know, man.
Oh, it doesn't matter the exact year. Okay, so this
2006. Yeah.
I'm just going to continue like following the timeline thread.
Mm-hmm.
Costa Rica, you get out of Panama pretty quick, plus.
What happened? Yeah, because I had no money, so I was looking for jobs and stuff as well. So again, thanks for my degree, I got into a little fisheries project in Costa Rica.
Did you tell them about? Did you put the reference?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Oh, you
My
did?
CV, my CV. Yeah, bullshit it. It was some bullshit, complete.
You didn't get the phone number of your
No,
boss.
no, it was a bullshit completely. Yeah. Oh no, I think they did speak to the guy, but I think he was being kind to me because he was a good guy. I think we were friends as well, but professionally I fucked up. But socially and as a mate, he was still, the boss of the guy. He was a good guy.
Sure.
So I think they did speak to him actually. Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, it was a volunteering job. It wasn't anything like a proper paid job anyway.
No responsibility.
No responsibility. It was me
Minimal.
finding a free place to stay and get fed, basically. So as I was looking for, I was doing that, just trying to find,
A similar kind of thing.
selling my jewelry a little bit, and but seeds I can, it was a different country, so I had to.
So what did you use?
So in the end, what did I do? I didn't do any jewelry actually. Then I did a little bit. I had my seeds from like a bag of seeds I used. I found in Dominican Republic. And carried on making jewelry until they finished, and I was just living on the beach in Costa Rica.
Just camping.
No, I was living in a little cabin and volunteering. Volunteering
when you see here at the lake,
organization, yeah,
there's a lot of probably less than there might have been before because we're in a new age of internet and all sorts of stuff. But have you seen characters come through? Maybe I'm thinking about Joel, right? Swiss Joel. I mean, you're amazing Swiss, right? So he's done his degree, he's done his trade electrician, and he's smoking a lot of weed, so he's a bit.
Yeah. I saw a lot of myself in him.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Big style, man. He was fucking hell. COVID didn't affect him at all.
He was just motorbiking around Africa, right?
He was motorbiking around fucking Africa, yeah. From South Africa all the way up north.
So now that you're saying,
wow, I know,
yeah, when you describe these stories, I'm like, that must have been what Joel was. He's not really giving a shit about.
No, he didn't give a shit and doing the same thing. He was coming here to volunteer,
and he was
finding
good,
a free place to stay, like I was in a way.
Kind of, maybe dropped the ball in some.
Completely.
Yeah.
A little bit irresponsible and just like didn't really give a shit. I didn't really give a shit. I was into my own adventure,
Sure. Do you think there was a lack of empathy there of other people? So I certainly judge a character like Joel a bit.
I think there was lack of empathy, definitely, maybe. Yeah, I didn't really care too much.
Was that, and this is getting a bit deep, but I think there's a reasonable argument potentially to be made that because world, in some sense, maybe your parents had shipped, like I'm trying to put myself in that position. Oh, my parents shipped me off to boarding school. I grew up in Nepal, so I'm not ready for English society, even though I'm English.
Yeah,
there might be
a bit of
resentment.
A lot of that as well. There's lots of resentment in me as well. That when I was in my 20s, 100%. Yeah, I was just escaping as well. That was it. I was running away in a way. Yeah, and still not very good with myself.
Yeah,
and with other people. Until I reached my 30s and I started learning a lot more about the world and just
What were you learning and how did you implement those learnings to make you who you are now, which I would say is not
who I was. No, I'm a completely different person I was when I was traveling. Definitely, it's a whole different life. It was completely different. My whole mind just flipped.
What happened?
Fuck, man. Bunch of shit, like all conglomeration of lots of stuff. I think it was, maybe coming to Guatemala 15 years ago. That changed everything. Met my girlfriend, Heno. We broke up 4 years later. We were South American, came back up again. And we broke up here. And then I was fucked. That was because I was really I was still pretty attached at that time.
To her?
To her, yeah. And yeah.
And I feel the lack of attachment you have to other people in other places means if you do get attached to something or someone, it's going to be even stronger.
Yeah, completely. It was a strong relationship.
This is your tether in the world. This is stability.
Yeah. It was my beginning of my life. I was selling jewelry on the street with her. She was also an artisan in Pana. Yeah, and we met in Nicaragua.
Ometepe or something?
Actually, not on Ometepe, but in Granada, and in the town on, not on the island, but on the mainland.
What's she like? Who is she?
She's a Guatemalan girl.
Oh wow, really?
She lives in Habilito at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, she's still there.
She like a local?
You probably know her.
Maybe, yeah.
She's not a local. No, she's a Guatemalan
from the
city girl. Yeah. You know Lucio, acupuncture, Atitlan Herbals. Have you heard of Atitlan Herbals?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it rings a bell. Is that
her? She's the owner of Atitlan Herbals. Yeah.
Oh, Atitlan Herbals. I was gonna go once because they were selling sunscreen or something. I wanted to know what.
Okay, she makes all that stuff. She makes natural sunscreen and soaps and stuff. And And then we broke up, and I was fucked, man. You know. I
So
was
she
like,
kind of probably brought you here then.
in a way, that was the idea. I mean, my idea was continue, but we had a relationship in Nicaragua. We started dating each other, and I was on my way to Guatemala anyway. I was on my way up, you know, to Mexico and everything as well. And then I got to Guatemala and I thought, fuck it, I'm staying.
Yeah.
We stayed in the house in Panajachel. We rented about a place together. But everything was fucking together. And there was a lot of attachment between each, you know, because then we were settled down. I had to get my fucking shit together and start making money, and we were doing it all together and this and that. And there was a lot of unhealthy attachment.
Okay.
And when we broke up, I was just fucked for like a year, man. Like broken heart and just like, oh fuck. But through that came everything else.
Okay, I don't want to.
Through that came the best. Yeah.
So what?
That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Was breaking up with her.
But even let's open that up a bit, if you don't mind, right? It might be sensitive, but it's not so much that Guatemala has some special sauce in the land here. It's more that the first time you had some reason that was worth it to grow up, in a sense, and gain stability and see the value in that.
I think finally I found someone, that girlfriend I had in Dominican. We met each other again in Costa Rica, and I was like, no,
wasn't worth it.
I wanted to be free again. I wanted to do my thing, you know. And then I met this girl, and you know, then I felt trapped again. But then didn't realize I'm trapped. I lost myself. I lost my own adventure. But I was just in this bubble of being in a relationship with her, and that was it. You know, that was it. I just lost myself within her, and she lost herself within me. We just, you know, together, but unhealthily together in a way.
Why unhealthily?
Because it was, I don't know, we were so attached to each other, man. You know, we're doing everything together
bad?
all the time. Yeah, really bad. We lost I lost my independence completely. I lost this little bit of, you know, the learning of a spiritual path that I was, you know, learning about before I met her. And then it was like, that was just like thrown to the side, and it's like, finally, I found something. Okay, I don't need any of that shit anymore.
So you stopped.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't that you were learning on your own and now you're learning together. It's that you were learning on your own and then you stopped learning it completely. So there was no sense of like, we can now learn together.
No. Didn't know. Kid still, you know. I didn't know any of that. I didn't, you know, there was first serious relationship as well, like proper 4 years together and stuff. And no, it's just like, yeah. But then breaking up with her was the best thing that ever happened to both of us.
What was that year then?
That was in 2010. 2012 we broke up. We came back to Guatemala after traveling South America from 2010 to 2012. She wanted to come back for December 2012 Mayan end of the world sort of shit.
Right,
and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll come with you. I shouldn't have. I should have stayed in South America. She had problems with her visa and going to Peru and stuff. I didn't.
Were you loving South America?
Yeah, I fucking loved it. But it was a right decision in the end to come back, because it was, you know, things happen. Things that happened needed to happen. You know,
sure. It's all meant to be.
It was all meant to be, completely meant to be. Yeah.
So that year that you just hinted at was broken heart and, oh my God, I'm all over the place. How did that come out? If I had seen you, I
was fucked up, man. I was totally just like,
just drinking. What did that look like?
No, not fucked up as in on drugs or drinking or anything. Just mentally fucked. Like I was just so, my life had just finished in a way.
It was hard to see the light.
Yeah, hard to see it completely, man. Like, hard
to laugh.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. No, I was just fucked up. Just not good. Just not good within myself and the other people. Just couldn't, you know, yeah. And then over the year, I was going through a lot of shit, obviously, and then ayahuasca came into my life, and that changed fucking everything.
How did that come into your life?
Randomly selling jewelry on the street in Pana.
Someone was like, "I don't have cash, but I have ayahuasca."
There was just this guy from Peru who was doing an ayahuasca ceremony on the lake, in Santa Cruz, in where Wendy works, Villa Sumaya.
Yeah.
And you know, I'd heard about it, but it was like, not really. And this guy comes up to me, and
especially back in 2012, right? That like, obviously it's existing in the Amazon forever. And when I was there in 2019, I feel like it had started to maybe creep into popular culture. Maybe Joe Rogan was talking about it. Now everyone knows.
Now it's crazy. Now it's just mad. Yeah, now it's just like, it's the common fucking thing that people do all the time. Yeah,
10, 15 years ago.
I don't know when it got it. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we wanted 3 necklaces, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm doing this ayahuasca session. If you want to come, you can join, and we can trade some jewelry instead."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, but I prefer to have the money because I can use it and stuff." And I was just like, I heard about ayahuasca and I was like semi-interested in it, but not really like thing. And I was like, "Ah, fuck it, why not? Why not just give it a go?" I didn't even like the guy actually. He was a bit of a teeny.
Yeah.
His,
They usually are.
Chamonix and
Yeah.
sort of thing. I was like, let's
Is he
see how it
very
goes. Yeah.
salesy?
But it was amazing. It's fucking the best fucking thing that happened to me. Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember that?
Yeah, breakdown of ego. Like the main thing was just just completely just chiseled me out. Just a horrible fucking experience, and then super amazing, and then fucking back to shit, and I was fucked for life, and then fucking opened up again, and I was just like swinging towards dark and light, and then slowly just like stayed and in the light, and it was just it's light basically, and love, came for the first time in my life, I think, yeah,
Really?
yeah, like real fucking love, and which is nothing and everything at the same time. Yeah, and then I started going deeper into it and stuff. I spent hours alone as well in Pana and loving it, just doing my own thing and totally on, this new thing
With that medicine, or just having done it
not
once?
having done it once, and then just a lot of processing afterwards, and just like when all these things came to me. No, it's all great. A lot of things. I went to Portugal and afterwards, and this and that, and just like it just opened me up completely to the world again. Yeah. But I opened me up to the world that I was when I was traveling alone as a kid. But opened me up to the world again, like a transition from kid to adult.
As in that
me.
those 15-year-old rides on the train up to Nepal was almost.
Yeah, but also traveling through Dominican Republic and Haiti, and
Okay.
having that freedom as well, but not really encompassing it properly in my own being. It was just I was still a kid and just learning.
A lost puppy,
a lost puppy, exactly, yeah. And then that really made I think ayahuasca really just like put some shit on the table that I had to look at and really like, yeah.
Wow. Do you think that was really the bridge between the lost puppy is the beauty of life and the enjoyment, and I know how to love living, but then obviously you can't do that forever because you sacrifice like responsibility and stuff. Did this help you form a bridge between the two and wrap them up together? Is that
not really? It was just completely different. That was past life, and this is now.
Like a rebirthing
completely. Yeah.
Into light
into
and
light.
love.
Yeah. Into light and love completely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sounds all hippie shit, doesn't it?
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
Truth. Yeah, I mean, it's like,
was there any pushback against that?
No.
It's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Exactly what the fucking doctor ordered. Yeah,
Sounds like
exactly what I need. What it was inevitable. It had to happen. Yeah.
You were
and then all my
otherwise.
experiences in life through growing up, and it was all just encompassed into what is, into my own life and how I act in life, and what my beliefs, not really beliefs, but what my knowings that I've always known become more consolidated. They've become a knowing. It's like there's no unseeing what I've seen. You know what I mean? In that way, like you can't unsee it anymore.
The applied context.
Didn't become the belief was not. The belief was completely diminished.
Right. So it didn't allow for that, as you said before. Like I was dumb, I was ignorant. Like that.
That was gone. That was gone. Yeah. But that was also the process with this woman for 4 years as well. Being with someone and then losing my kid self, but then transitioning to my adult self in a way. And this happened when I was 14 years ago, when I was 12 years ago, when I was 30.
So would you say
my 30s was when there's a whole transition to my adulthood. Basically, I grew up in my 30s.
Yeah. So it's almost as if that relationship with the girl meant you grew up, but in doing so, in growing up in that way, you lost your kid, and the ayahuasca brought the kid back and kept the adult. So now you're an adult and a kid.
Completely. Beautiful balance of the two.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same person, but I'm not the same person.
That's like prologue. Like.
Yeah.
Fuck. True.
Yeah.
Have you taken ayahuasca since?
No. Don't need it.
Just once.
It's coming back again, slow. It's just 12 years ago, man. But it's coming back again. A lot of signs are going, Tom, maybe just it's time to start again. Something. Another reset. I met people who said take ayahuasca 250 times. I've taken
That doesn't
ayahuasca
make
300
much
times.
sense,
Like, why
does
the
it?
fuck do you need so much, man? That was fucking enough for me. One fucking 2 nights, we did Saturday and Sunday or something, whatever, during the week or weekend. But that was what the fuck, holy Moses, man. But it all depends on each and every one of us, obviously.
As someone who
Yeah.
had lived for most of their life with such temporary relationships, people know you very intensely, but for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Were there any people, maybe even that ex, who saw you pre-ayahuasca and saw you post-ayahuasca, like 3 months before, 3 months after, and were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I got friends in Pana who knew me when I was with Fausto, for example. Fausto.
Right.
He always says, when we're talking about this stuff comes up or whatever, like talking about past and whatever, and he always says, Tom, man, what happened to you? Because I knew Fausto in 2012. And
For context,
he
Fausto
saw
makes
me
the
as
best
this
chocolate croissants in
yeah,
Guatemala.
the best fucking amazing fucking Italian baker. But I met him when I was like a little boy. I was with Heno still, but we became friends when I was a little boy. And then he was like, well, he always makes a joke out of it because he laughs about it as well, because it's like, what the fuck happened to you? It's just so you were scared of it. I was scared of everything before.
Okay.
I was really not like this hidden fear, it was always there, like this uncomfortable anxiety,
Like a street
hidden
kid
fear
almost.
and stuff, and just
like
like
a
a traumatized little boy sort of thing. I was always, traumatized, and just, like you said, like we talked about resentment and stuff, and the world, fuck you, and sort of thing, and you're trying to get on the spiritual path, which I was just forcing myself
looking for an
away,
answer.
digging many holes. And not keeping to one hole. I was just, digging many and not getting anywhere at all, right? And then he was like, yeah, and I don't know, man. He always says, like, what the fuck? Remember you being really scared of going out and meeting people and stuff. And I was, because I was just not in a good space. And he was saying, yo, what the fuck happened to you, man? Yeah, no, you're a different person. So talking to Fausto, for example, yeah, he's seen that transition. And that was the most important transition in my life. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were there any?
But we were close together, me and Fausto, when I was that kid to when I'm this person now. You know what I mean?
That's quite
I'm not saying
special
we're
for him.
complete different people.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's different because it's me inside, right? It's to him, it's probably the same guy, but it's just you change a little bit.
And just the way you live the
But
life
to
and
me, it was a
interact
massive
with the
change.
world.
It was yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Were there any other things that, because, I mean, that's like the best sales pitch for fucking ayahuasca that someone could give. So, were there any other relevant
Sales,
like
Yeah, exactly.
contextual
I know.
parts of that?
It's
Like,
a shame. It's all fucking
no, but you know what I mean? Like,
$30,000 and it will fucking fix you. Yeah.
was it like, do you feel deeply like, if I had been in England and taken ayahuasca, I wouldn't have, like, did it be the lake? Were you exercising with certain people, influencers? Like, was there anything else that's relevant? If someone hears that and is therefore drawn towards an ayahuasca experience, is there anything else they should know?
I don't think you're drawn to it. Maybe you're drawn to it just for, I don't know if it's a drawing as well. It's just what happens, dude. And each of our lives is completely unique. Our paths are set out for us, and if they are set out for us, even, maybe in the moment that are set out for us, in every living moment, they're just continually being set out for us instead of already planned.
Sure.
Just like the universe is just, going, yeah, okay, they're good, that way.
He's still going.
Yeah, still going. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think they're like, I don't know. It just happened. It just basically happened, Yeah. And it's your choices you make in life, I think, as well. That's, you can say yes or no. So why did I say yes when I could have said no easily?
Because there's probably other things that you said no.
Why?
That
I don't know why I said yes.
Yeah. So it's more like you just don't think about it too much and have faith, like
completely. And that's the icing on the cake. That's it, basically. It's just having complete utter trust and faith in whatever's there that's helping you on you. There's nothing not helping you on the way except yourself.
Okay,
everything is there just to help you. Even, you want to talk about God or universe or energy. Yeah, okay. Energy or the greater expanse of things is there to help you on your journey in life. Always. It's always there.
That may be,
Yeah.
And I'm just speculating here, the fundamental shift of perspective that you experience, because I think a lot of people, and it sounds like you pre-ayahuasca, have a sense that there are good forces and bad forces, and the things external from me that are getting in my way and things that are holding me down, and there's also a few opportunities and stuff. What you're saying now is that everything externally is there to help you and is light and love and everything.
Completely.
And it's only you who can get you in your own way.
Completely. Even the bad shit that happens to you is always fucking good.
Serving you.
In a fucked up way.
And that's a wild flip. And that's the flip you probably experienced.
Completely. Yeah.
It allows you to just breeze through life, just like with
completely.
love and about. Yeah,
everything's gonna be okay, all the time. And I know that I'm not gonna be here for the rest of my life. So I'm also I'm not trying to think about the future. I don't want to think about the future, but it's there, and like I'm not gonna be here. Right? Whatever happens. When I'm ready to go, something will just like I'm going. You know what I mean? It just happens, man. No matter what attachment you have or whatever, you just go. Because it's time for you to go.
How did you?
You're not in control of that in a way. It just happens. It's just like, even breaking up with this woman. It's had to happen. It just had to happen. Even though I was so scared to break up with her, and because fucking that's my life. This woman was my life.
Yeah. So the kind of person who does take to ayahuasca 250 times.
Well, again, different people, man. No judgment, but it's just like fine if you feel like you need to take it 250 times. That's your journey. You got to. So
you don't see it in you a sense of I listened, I learned, and I don't need it much more. Whereas you fucking aren't listening, you're not learning, and why are you taking 250 times? You don't feel those judgments.
Sometimes. Yeah, but then it's their own path as well. They have to. I don't know. Maybe they just want to take it more and more and more because they just enjoy it. But they're in this impermanence of stuff, like another thing. Maybe the impermanence is still there, so it's not while they're on the trip, it's fucking amazing. But then when they're out of it, they're back to their own little shit again.
They really struggle to make that bridge.
Make the bridge to impermanence.
Why were you able to
invoke that inside your life? I don't know why I was able to do it, and feeling
so
that
strongly.
It was so strongly to me because I'm another human being, I guess, and that was. What that happened. That's just what happened, you know. And I mean, it was definitely life changing for me, man. 100%.
Yeah, that's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, and then it's all intertwined with a whole other like philosophy, Hindu philosophy, and nothing to do with my Indian life growing up at all. It's just this suddenly this thing came. There's a thing called Advaita Vedanta. Okay. Which is a beautiful Indian philosophy, which, I was just reading books and stuff and started, nothing, just interest. That was it. And then this guy said, a friend of mine who's in Pana still called Zenon, and he's like, hey man, you should really read. This is on the way when I was getting out of this relationship also. It was all entwined with ayahuasca and everything when I was doing my processing and stuff. And this guy just showed up, and there was some guru guy on us like, I don't want to listen to these fucking guru idiots, man. They're all fucking, of course, all that shit. But this particular guy was fucking blew my fucking mind.
What did he say?
It's talking about non-duality. Beautiful non-dual.
So what is that?
Philosophy, which is basically sounds all hippie and everything, but
no,
it's
go
all like
for it.
we are all one, and it's love is.
So there's no separation.
There's no separation.
Duality is separation.
Yeah, duality is separation. There's no separation. You are one with fucking everything. You are everything and nothing at the same time. And then it started getting to mentally as well and emotionally and stuff. And it's just sort of like mind is the devil. Mind is what fucks you.
That's what creates those barriers
completely. And it's just about switching off the mind and just like not fucking going yeah to the mind. And it's just bringing the mind down to the heart.
That's that stupid boy, right?
And that was that stupid
boy. Has
no
nothing
totally
going on
in
his
my
mind.
head as well. Totally like lost and yeah.
Interesting. I heard
this was also like a mixture, and it had so many correlations and experience in ayahuasca and other bits and dabbles in and out of stuff, which was the same thing in the end. Which in the end basically is just love. That's all it is. At the base, love is there all the time. And you can't. Each and every one is on their journey, and whatever judgments do happen because we're human beings, and we do judge people normally. But it's catching those judgments and the perceptions of people that totally are completely wrong, but our minds, know that they're right, but it's wrong. It's like it's all just false bullshit. It's all false. And then I was began to watch the mind, and just like, who is thinking this thought?
This judgment.
Or whatever thought you have, whatever feeling you get from thinking a particular thought, it makes you feel a little bit weird, It's like, who's thinking this thought? Why, this is not you, it's your mind that's thinking it. You are not your mind.
I just crossed my arms because I felt like subconsciously attacked because I'm such a judgmental cunt inside.
Yeah. We all are. We all are, though. And I'm still sometimes. And let's catch it quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, calm down, man. Fuck off, will you, for a bit, mind? And let me just speak to this person as a human being.
And I think, as you say, we all are judgmental cunts, for one of a better word. And that's...
We just have to be... I think the next step is being, conscious judgmental cunts.
What's the heart of
looking at your thoughts, looking at what you're putting out there through your mind. Yeah,
that's the heart of your attraction, though, Tom. Fundamentally, I think, is that compared to certainly me, and I imagine most people who are attracted to you in your cafe, we see in you someone who is so much further down the track of catching those judgments. That's at least what I see.
Yeah, well,
because I see you talking to people that I judge heavily, and you allow space and time and energy and listening, and I would be filters up. I don't fucking know. Get me,
Yeah.
I can justify that to myself.
Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know, man. Like, just people. Just learn to love everyone the same. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm single, I think, is as well. Because I can't just love one person. And that was also a lesson from being with this woman as well. Like, I can't be like now. It'd be nice to meet someone, and of course, but it has to happen again. It hasn't happened again because it's just like, I don't feel I'm in this fucking societal way of loving, the way it's so romantic, and you broke my heart. How is your heart being broken when it's already full, when it's already entire? You can't break your heart. But that society has put this fucking shit. Society is all fucking bollocks.
These limiting factors on your own ability to love.
Yeah, it's all control as well. They told us that your heart gets broken. It's not. So this mind breaks. Your heart's entire, always there. It's always pure. It's always strong. It's always that space is 100% never end. It's permanent. It's never gonna fucking leave.
Your mind just dulls it. It's like, okay, my mind's decided I'm channeling all my love to this person and maybe my family to a certain extent. And if that person goes away, I have no love left.
Completely. And that's the dust on the gold. It blinds you. All that dust is just that,
The dust on the gold.
You blow the dust off and that's gold. Oh, there you go again. Yeah.
So what are your practices for blowing that dust off?
I don't practice anything, really.
Okay.
Practice life, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's life. Life is a meditation. Life is a practice, the whole thing. Of course you can do your meditations in the morning. I feel much better and stuff, but I also tried to do that every morning, meditating a little bit, and it's like, what's the point?
I'd rather have a wank.
I'd rather have a fucking wank. But you know what I mean? It was just like, in the end, you're living life, and life is a meditation. You're in the world, I mean, I had a point in my mid-30s going, okay, fuck, I'm going to a cave and just deleting the world, and just focusing on, just like many people do, going back to India. So this is a fucking random fart in my mind, In the end, it was like, fuck that, man. I want to be in the world, man. Be nice to lock yourself in an ashram and everything, and boop, it's all right, finished.
It's too easy, though, isn't it?
Too easy. Of course, man. I want to be in this fucking world and learn from people and speak with people and, yeah.
So, okay.
And shine my light and look at other people shining light back at me, yeah.
It's brilliant. And why, if that's this newfound perspective, and this is what we're talking 13, 14 years ago, so
yeah,
this all sounds very poetic and nice because you've been living with that as the fabric of your mind for over a decade now.
But who knows, tomorrow all that can go to hell.
Sure.
Yeah.
But when it first came about and you were like, this is a revolution of your psyche.
Yeah.
Where did you turn to in this real world? where did you do? How did you start operating differently? Well, your dreams, is that when you started dreaming about this place?
Yeah. I mean, if I would never have done this if I hadn't in my beginning 30s, mid 30s, like learned what I learned, grew what I grew.
So what was the dream of this place? That initial dream.
Okay, the initial dream was, it was, when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, the one I believe, we were also thinking about buying land together and building like a homestead or something somewhere. And we're looking at Suriname, Hibalito, whatever, just having a look around. And in the end, it was, that dream was still real in me as well, we parted, and then she bought her piece of land in Hibalito, and then later on I bought my piece of land in Suriname. But it was the I think that was a time when I wanted a base. I think I wanted just a little base somewhere. The idea was I lived in Pana. I wanted to come to Suriname. This place was shrouded in trees, beautiful. Fucking there wasn't a road, no tuk-tuks, no churches.
What was Suriname?
It was just a small path from the dock coming up to the church. That was it.
And this piece of land, proper town.
Yeah, there was a town at the back. Yeah, but it's all indigenous town. People walking down. It was a town still.
So then no tuk-tuks?
No tuk-tuks at all. No one came. There's only like 2 gringos living in Suriname in 2012.
Wow.
2, and I was like 150.
So it was even less than Hibalito is now.
Yeah, it was even less than Hibalito. No one, the boats didn't even stop. They stopped at Hibalito, Santa Cruz, Hibalito, and straight to San Marcos.
Wow.
Never stopped in Suriname.
But it's such a big land.
I know, but no one came here. I don't know why. Super weird. Super weird.
Was it because it was super dodgy? Or
maybe, I don't know. Not in that time, no, because no one was here. No one even found any reason to come to Suriname. It was just a empty town.
Okay.
Very, very indigenous empty town. That was it.
Yeah.
And then the road was built. Tuk-tuks came in. Everything just fucking boom happened. And my dream of my little cabin in the woods, to get away from
suddenly on the main highway.
It's going to be my little chill out place, and I was going to be my, and now I'm on the fucking main highway. Exactly, yeah. So in the end, it's like, what the fuck am I going to do now? It's like, well, I'm sick of selling on the street. I'm done with that life.
How long were you doing that life for?
Since,
since Dominican
2010. 2009, 2009, yeah. Well, she was an artisan, so she taught me as well how to do the jewelry work.
So we're not just doing strings and seeds anymore.
No, this was like using stones as well. So we found gemstones and stuff. We started working with stones and wrapping them with nice intricate designs of macrame. You probably heard of macrame.
Yeah, the little stringy
things used to do. Yeah, and then I started doing silver work as well because I wanted to carry on with my jewelry making and stuff. And then this happened, and I stopped. Which is good. I want to get back into it again one day. Surely that's the whole reason this is made, because I want to fucking sit down and make some jewelry again. Because I enjoyed it. I still really enjoy it. Yeah. But then so it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do now, man? In the end, it was like, okay, well, fuck. I'm opening my little shop. No one's around, but see if I can sell. If I got a place to stay, I can sleep in the shop. I don't pay rent. I'm connected to water. I've got a little stove there. I can decorate the shop with my little things, bits and bobs.
So this just started out as a little
shop. The little shop at the bottom. That was the first building built here, and that was it. Okay. There's a little toilet. The toilet was also here, and that was all. Yeah.
And any of this?
No, this wasn't built.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were still living.
Oh, and the bus was up as well. The bus was up.
So I tell the bus story as well.
Yeah, so the bus was up as well. Actually, I was sleeping in the bus, and the little shop down there was.
So for context,
sort of thing. Yeah.
This is now.
Yeah.
Such a gorgeous cafe, right? We're on a hillside, and there's wooden platforms, and there's flowers dangling from the ceiling, and it's quite clearly just this menagerie of artisanal souls putting their paintings up and their freediving posters in the toilet, and you got a bamboo structure here for Tom at the back. But the heart of this place, which is quite funnily completely covered now, and you can barely tell.
Yeah.
Is a bloody American school bus.
Yeah, sure.
Which has 3 local indigenous Mayan women running around in a kitchen. Up. What's the story?
I always wanted a bus. I always wanted to live in a bus. Don't know why. It's like thought it'd be just simple. And mainly I think it was because it was simple. It was done. It was already made. You just have to park it onto where you want to park it.
Got the walls and the roof. And
walls, roof, done, sorted, fast, finished, waterproof, done everything, yeah. Then I'm enjoying to like set it up inside, you put your bed here and amazing. The next plot of land I'm going to get, if I do get one, it's going to be a fucking bus on it again. 100%. Bigger bus.
How did you get a bus?
So I was just like, I was walking around Guatemala City, and it was just walk past this bus, this one here, just on the street, and these guys are taking off the wheels, off the windows, taking the seats out. They're basically dismantling it for scrap metal.
Yeah.
And I just walked straight past. And I thought, fuck it. I'm not going to, I just ask. I'm not going to lose anything asking. Go walk back and just like, okay, what are you doing with this bus, guys? And they're like, no, it's chatarra. It's scrap metal. And I was like, okay. But are you selling it? And you can bring it to the lake. I live in Sununa, Lake Atitlan. As a joke, I was going, ha, 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 and they knew what the lake was. Solola, and Sununa, they didn't have a clue. But it's like Solola, Lake Atitlan, and, like, you can bring it there, can't you? Oh, good. Okay, we're sorted. And they're like, ¿Quieres el bus? You want the bus? And I was like, yeah, super good. Take it to the lake. And they're like, yeah, okay, no problem. I said, how? No, there's no motor, there's nothing. How are you going to bring it? It's, no, we have a tow company. So they had a fucking tow company, brilliant. And I was like, okay, cool. We exchanged numbers and stuff, and I'd forgotten about. All finished. I went back to the lake. I don't know what the fuck I was doing in Guatemala City anyway. I forgot completely why I was there.
I imagine
in Villanueva, in the
you're
fucking
in some
shitty
weird part of it.
I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. No idea.
Is that the auto part? There's a whole suburb that is just swathed in Guat City, which is just auto repair shops.
Fucking shit ton of derelict cars just like sprawled around and shit, And then we're just like, okay, finished. And then 3 weeks later, I get a phone call. No, I get a phone call first. And it's like, Thomas, and I was in bed. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yeah, okay, I didn't understand much. And then there's like, we had a bad connection or something. The phone call crashed or whatever. But it sent me a photo of the bus. And I was like looking at the photo, and I recognized the fucking place behind it. And it was a gas station in Los Encuentros. It was all misty and cloudy.
Have they already given you a quote?
No, nothing. So I had no fucking clue.
Just done it.
Yeah, and I phoned them back when I got a bit, savvy in the morning, and I, had my tea or whatever, and I started calling them back. Said, "What the fuck? What happened? Sorry, man, the connection's bad. Why are you calling me? Where's the bus? What are you sending me a photo for?" I said, "No, we are in Los Encuentros, so we'll be in Sununa in about 3 hours." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was pissed off, man. I was like, "No, man, we didn't talk about pricing. I didn't tell you to go ahead with it." And like, Tom, don't worry. Tranquilo, todo bien. Don't you worry. And he's like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, "Oh, no. What do I do? Oh, fuck." So I had to fucking race over to Sununa and wait here for took like 5 hours in the end. And I was like, well, we're still in community. Well, we didn't talk much. I was just going, what the fuck's happening, And then 5 hours later, they came up the main road, big, boop, boop, and the whole fucking bus was filled with this guy's family. It was like 10 of them. They were all in the bus.
Just on the back of a tow truck.
And so he was driving the tow truck, and the rest of the family was just in the bus.
Was that just for fun?
So that was the thing. That was the thing. They're like, that's why they're telling me, don't worry, all good. And they would have given me a damn good deal, because they did say that I'd love to visit the lake one day. We'd like to have a little family gathering there, and they did it. So they used the bus to fund their stay in the lake. Stay the whole week. So they didn't spend any money on the lake, for staying in places. The whole family stayed in the bus.
In the bus. On your property?
On the side of the road. And the guy was fucking cool, man. He gave me like a super great price for it.
Well, how much did you price this?
Half of what I thought it would be worth,
What was it?
I was thinking it's going to be like, okay, it's going to cost me at least $1,000.
Yeah. So $500.
For the bus only.
And the transport?
But so that was all included. So it was, in the end, it cost me like $500 for the transport and the bus.
Included? Oh, because he made this holiday out of it.
Because he made a holiday out of it. Wow. He wanted to get to the lake in one way or another. And in the end, it was just like, I paid a couple $100 for the gasoline for the tow truck. It's ours anyway. We're the owners of it. We wanted to have a good time in the lake, and so it's fucking incredible. But I was totally unprepared.
Sure.
This land wasn't even fucking.
It's a hill.
It was a hill. So we just fucking the next couple of weeks, we were fucking trying to make the terraces make it flat.
How do you do that? How do you, real quick? How do you?
All manpower, all fucking pickaxe.
But did you because I imagine if I just make some big staircases in my head, what's stopping them roll that? Is there a technique and art to it?
Rocks
help.
Yeah, shit ton of rocks, man, and wedging them together
on the wall parts of the stairs.
What are you talking about? Sorry.
As in, how do I stop the dirt just from falling down and making it like a?
Oh, you got to put you got to put some walls in. So it's dry walls. So we had dry walls. It's rocks. Yeah, rocks.
Yeah.
Basically, and that kept the earth.
Okay.
Well, the earth is strong as well. It's because you dig in, it's packed, man. So you didn't really need to do it, but it's more for safety, obviously, because it could just cause a landslide. So these walls, you put these walls in. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And then how do you get a bus up?
So the walls we didn't put in till later.
Okay.
We made a ramp where the shop was. Push the bus up.
So okay.
Yeah,
What do you mean push the bus up?
Pushed and pulled. 33 people.
33 people.
33 people. Yeah, it's fucking
with like
pain up
ropes on the
ass.
bus. Or
Ropes
something.
on the bus. Fucking kids. Fucking other. Just 1, 2, 3, inch by inch, man. Put tablas, planks of wood under the wheels of the bus as well for it to just
because it's just not just digging into the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, pain up the ass. And then the main thing was to get off the fucking streets because the money was getting pissed off.
Sure,
because
it's been there a week
trucks,
already.
Yeah, the trucks couldn't pass. They had to go around the other end. And I was a dickhead who lived in Pana, who was never here and causing ruckus all the time because these cars are getting, so I had to fucking do it, man. Then we got off the road and it was just like that.
So these 33 people, were these just locals that you paid?
Locals, yeah, tuk-tuk drivers.
You paid
and
them?
other families. Yeah, I paid them 50Q each, actually.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, and they managed. Then it was like this for 2 weeks because they said, "Fuck it, Tom, we can't push it and pull it up anymore. You finish. You have to dismantle it and sell it all for trash, for scrap." And I was like, "Oh man." So we started with 23 people first. Sorry. Okay. Then I said, "Okay, let's get another 10 people," and it ended up being 33 people.
Okay,
and we managed to just like and push it up.
That's mental.
Yeah, fucked up. Never doing that again. Not that. No, pulling up a bus up a hill. Fuck that. No way, dude. I was fucked. Like, oh my god. And then it was just there. Then the bus was just, that was in 2013 or 14. And I was just there.
Now you have a little jewelry shop, then you're never at. Bus on a hill, and you're living in Pana.
Yeah.
Selling jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got cooked up to water and stuff. And then we started building here and there. And then I came and then started continually selling jewelry in the little shop down there. And I was living here. I wasn't living in Pana anymore.
Okay.
Because I got hooked up to electricity and water. And okay, it was cool. Well, I was getting a line from the neighbors for electricity. And water was just getting from a tube, quickly just tapped into a tube from the neighbors in the city. I'd sort it out later. Yeah, fuck, man. I know this is fucking rustic as fuck, man, this place, dude. Jesus.
Real quick.
Yeah.
How does one just tap into electricity from your neighbors? I'm so ignorant of this.
Oh, yeah, well, I knew the guy.
But what does that even look like? You can't just switch off the power and then like do it and then switch it on again.
Yeah,
like,
completely.
You can.
Exactly that.
Like
the council, the breakers?
Oh,
no,
okay.
council, fuck that. They don't even know what's going on at all. No idea. So you can just like, hey man, can you get a line from your place to my place? Yeah, cool, man. And we shared the electricity bill in the end. So I did 50-50. Yeah. Let's get a long piece of wire, like a huge extension
just a
cord,
normal
basically.
wire.
Normal wire. Yeah. Like this one. Yeah.
For a whole house. Oh, that's just
I didn't have anything except like 3 bulbs. That's what I needed.
Okay. Yeah.
Just have some light, Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, fucked up, man. And then there's like, what the fuck now, and then the bus was there, and living in the bus wasn't great either because I was in the middle of the fucking street. Like basically you walk out in the morning and everyone's walking down the street. Ah, hi. Just there's too close
there's nothing
to the street.
in between.
It was noisy as well, and there's nothing in between. Yeah.
Sure.
And then I thought, what the fuck, man? What am I going to do with this bus? Then I thought about the idea was to put it here where we're sitting right now. That's the idea, to put it here.
Okay.
Like further up. We couldn't push it a bit further up. That was done. That was finished. Yeah. So what's here is supposed to be down there, and what's down there is supposed to be here. That's the idea. The bus here with the platform on top, and this down below the kitchen, and this platform here. And yeah.
But this was always, at this point, just to have a jewelry store in your place to live.
That was it. Place to live. Jewelry store and place to live. Simple and basic. Finished. And then the cafeteria came up because like, what am I going to do with all the space now with the bus? And I don't live in the bus. It's too noisy and too much in the street. How about we make a simple cafe? And then this guy came called Harrison, who was living next door years later. And he decided to come and stay here. And he lived in the bus. And this is already built. So I lived here at the bottom. He lived in the bus. And he was a chef.
Okay.
And he was like, dude, you want to learn some recipes? And this might be good for your cafe idea. And I was like, yeah, but I just want coffee and cacao and croissants and Fausto's shit. That was it, basically.
Right.
Then he started making...
So Fausto's stuff is the OG.
That's the OG. It's fucking great. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
No, it's good. But he made, like, he designed the curry bowl, the Mexican bowl, and the Mediterranean bowl. And those are the 3, like...
So you're really not a chef of any...
No, fuck that, man.
You just have memorized a few things and copy and pasted them since.
Like, fuck, I haven't done no experience being in the kitchen or anything. No, Jesus, man. Don't know that here. No, I'm not a fucking chef, dude. Fuck that. Yeah. But then I enjoy cooking. As a kid, I enjoyed cooking a lot with my mum.
So reunited a little thing.
Exactly. Rekindled that sort of, yeah. But now I'm a bit sick of it,
Sure. And you want to go back to the jewelry, which is probably more reflective of who you and your journey.
Yeah, because it gives me freedom. I think, you know, that's another thing. So I'm a victim of my own dreams here. Because I was I was really, fucking brilliant, man. It's my base. But this has become too much of a base now, and I'm stuck here now.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just pick this place
Well,
up
you
and go
actually
traveling
just
and
don't
go, I
leave.
can do this
I
and
was
that.
thinking of this today because
Well,
I was kind of
I don't get out.
You literally don't leave the premises.
Well, there's two reasons for that as well. Mainly, the first reason is because, you know, it's fucking, you leave this place, like, you get robbed. And you get robbed here a lot. Mixwell got robbed day before yesterday. Another Chinese girl got robbed up there in her house. So, people are watching you if you leave your place. It's 24/7. Someone has to be here. You know? Yeah. And the other reason is I actually like being at home. You know, I enjoy being here too.
Well, you didn't
I
have
don't
a
need
home
to go out so much. But then also it's like I would like to have at least the option. You know, right now I don't really have much of an option because, you know, I've got volunteers and other people staying, but they're the first ones that can do what they like because there's volunteers. I don't expect them to stay. You know, that's another part of the job to stay and look after the place if I'm away. So I can't. I'm still have to. You know,
Of course.
I can get out if they're here, but there's nothing need to be talked about because I can just go if they're staying here. You know,
Your main like money maker, your value production in society was jewelry, which is just you can pick it up and take it with you and you can fly to Peru. Like,
and that's what I'd like to do again. I'd like this next part of my life, whenever that may happen. It's letting go of this place and traveling and selling jewelry, not in one particular place, but really exploring again and selling jewelry and making a living as an adult as well. You know,
when you were doing that, and as you said, pre-ayahuasca, you were so in your own head and probably in a sense, there's an element of selfishness involved.
Yeah, definitely.
Now it's almost this selfless, again, like non-judgmental, at least catching the judgments before anyone else does. You've really found this position, this base from which you can completely go the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, it's becoming more of a service rather than
for sure,
you know, for other people rather than serving myself.
So from this chapter, post ayahuasca, let's say, of Trece Cielos Cafe, when and if you do go back to more like the traveling jewelry, what will you do differently having done this compared to when you were young?
Yeah, it'll just be different. It'll 100% just be different. Do differently, I don't know. It'll just be different. It'll just be different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you haven't thought about?
No. I just have to get on, a plane, go
see what happens.
and see what happens. Yeah. See how I feel as well. That's also a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it, but
is there fear or excitement?
No, it's excitement. Excitement. Adventure, excitement again. And, although I am, I'm 42 now, so it's like I'm older now. It's like, I don't know, like what's going to be the energy levels I have and, Yeah,
it's incredible. I'm just going to filter
and keep this place running would be fucking kick-ass, Guatemala will always be a base. It'll always be a base.
We've done so much here.
Yeah, I always come back. If I'm, another base in the world somewhere would be great. Yeah, back to Nepal, for example, is what I'm gearing towards.
So when did you say the last time you were in Nepal was?
25 years ago.
Yeah.
I talked about my mate who came, my Australian mate who came to play music. He came. I hadn't seen him for 25 years. He was my best schoolmate when I was a kid.
No,
he was in Guatemala. And he was like, Tom, I'm here, man.
Was he in the school in India?
Yeah. No, in Nepal.
In Nepal?
In Nepal. He's my Nepal friend,
Yeah.
Far out. And he came over to visit.
Was that a weird moment at all?
Amazing. It was the most beautiful moment ever. Yeah. We were best friends then and we're still best friends now. We didn't even talk much throughout the 25 years. Just tells you that you're still connected to, to your best friends since you were a kid. We changed a lot. Still, we're still, he went through lots of shit. I went through whole fucking life. It's all fucking massive mess, between those 25 years when we were just like growing up. And he's still the person I remember as a kid. And I'm still the person that he remembers.
And you can probably see that.
It was weird because it was like we were different people then, but it just came out in our personalities anyway. We're still the same people. You know what I mean? Deep down, something there is the same, And, even though we're different people, you know what I mean? Same, but different.
This actually leads perfectly into my next question. Because it sounds like you can, having seen them as a kid, which is almost a pure form, right?
Yeah.
Maybe because of you and what you're doing, because of him and what he's doing, whatever that is, the whole world now, people he might meet or people you might meet now, see you for whatever they see you as, which is probably not that pure kid, that like real you. And it's so nice to have someone in the world who has witnessed
Yeah.
that version
Exactly.
of you.
And that's very special, I think, as well, you know. Yeah.
So going off that,
both ways, you know. I witness him and he witnessed
exactly, and there's that shared thing
me.
there.
Connection is always there, and I love the fucker, you know. He's just and he's you know, he's grown into a fucking beautiful man as well, you know. Like everyone loved him here. Everyone loved him. He could have lived here perfectly. He's
Is he living in
guy,
Australia?
man.
Or where's he
Living in Byron Bay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Great guy. You love
What's
it,
his
man. You
name?
love Elisha.
Elisha.
Artist and musician.
I won't be too far
That's
away.
his artwork here. This is actually me in Nepal. That's his work as well. That's me in Nepal looking over, smoking a joint out the window in a bar, in a toilet. Yeah,
that's from his memory, is it?
Yeah, that's his artwork that he's had for ages.
Elisha Kamucha Amawa. Wow. So he must go to Nepal a lot.
He does go back more than I do. Yeah.
You found your own weird Latin version of Nepal, right?
My own what land?
Weird Latin version.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. When I came to Guatemala, man, it was like, whoa, fuck. That's why also the reason why I stayed as well, because it was so much like Nepal. People are very similar. You know, instead of the mountains, you got volcanoes, but you got the same sort of vibe in a way. You know?
I think it's the indigenous.
Also that, yeah, and just the nature and the simplicity more than anything as well. No, yeah. Very Nepali, the people here. Very Nepali, carrying their wood. You know, here, especially in Sumatra.
Yeah.
Bare feet, women walking down. You know, you still see them. The old ladies walking bare feet down the concrete road. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always see you. I'm like, oh. I always get the image of you just marrying a local Guatemalan.
I'll do a Nepali one, but a local Guatemalan one, maybe not. No. And I think that was also like part of the heartbreak as well, because I thought it was something cool to be with like a fucking Guatemalan girl.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm with Guatemalan girl, man. You know, I'm really living their life. You know, it's just like, that was
just from the city.
It's just from the city, though, anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
1% indigenous.
So with that guy, as a like, maybe last question
with Elisha.
Yeah. Because he's seen this like old school version of you, and again, like I think right now in this cafe environment, like when you're on the road, probably the only people you connect with are seeing that, because you probably didn't allow people, I reckon, to see anything else. Maybe I'm too sure.
I think it's like connecting. You can connect with fucking anyone.
Yeah.
Unless there's a connection. You know, if you feel there's a connection,
sure.
You can talk to anyone, no problem. But I think we have friends everywhere in the world.
Yeah, no, for
even
sure.
ones we don't know. It's just we'll connect with everyone. I connect with you completely. You know. And, You know, you're some random fucker that turned up at the restaurant.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I guess my question is like, going from such, and again, I never knew this ayahuasca thing, so it's kind of framing it all a bit different, right? Give me a lot of context, like, having lived in that brain of that kid, and then after it, I think the jewelry traveler versus the cafe kind of constantly suffering small business owner. Do you feel like they're both equally you, or do you feel like this is a new evolved version of you? Do you feel like you're imposter syndrome? Do you feel like the way people interact with the cafe owner versus the jewelry hippie dude, where does that all sit?
I think in many people's eyes, I'm still the hippie fucking fucker, because of cafe looks hippie-ish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm still this got fucking dreadlocks, and of course I'm in many people's eyes, and I'm this.
I definitely see you more as like the kind
because
of
you know me,
struggling businessman. Like
exactly, I'm trying, man. Yeah, you can
not struggling financially, struggling as in the responsibility of like
exactly. Yeah. And I'm tired of that, man. Now, you know, I am tired of that. I don't want. That's why I want to go back to making jewelry and traveling. And the main thing is, I don't want any more stress in my life, man.
You don't. You're not addicted to that game, right? You're not addicted to the game of I want to do a second cafe and then a third cafe, and then make it to England. It's like, no, this was just a lesson.
It's fun, you know. I get stressed out and shit, and it happens like it's hard fucking work, but it's still enjoying. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah,
and it's for a reason, because I'm still enjoying it, you know. Yeah, and I'm trying to like let go a little bit more now. Usually I'm down there right now talking to you.
It's really cool to see like that the third girl in the kitchen, and then Jacinta's been here a few years now. She knows what's going on, and got 2 volunteers. Like at one stage you were having 1 or 0.
It's happening, but it's a very slow process. I wish it happened faster, but it just doesn't. Why it doesn't? Because it's just happens in my life. Again, it's just what's happening, man. Maybe it takes me a long time to get things to where I want them to be, but that's just my life, to do something, I beat around the bush 5 times. Someone else does it, just like a quarter of the bush and done. But I've always.
But when it came to ayahuasca, you only had to do it once, and
exactly,
someone else
does it 2
or 3
beat around the bush
times.
once there, yeah.
Right.
But maybe I had to do it once to understand what I needed to understand in my life now. Maybe I need to do another time now. I don't know what for, but I need to go again and maybe have another chat in a couple of years and go, I have my second ayahuasca and holy fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe you can delete that interview we had at Trece. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's like whatever happens. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I think I'm, for now, all out of questions. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, man.
That was epic.
Yeah. Keep on doing your shit, man.
Yeah, I plan to. I mean, this is.
Because seeing you cause you're 24, right?
About to be, yeah.
That's amazing. Because when I was 24, I was a little fucking kid. I would never be in Guatemala. You'd be free diving. You go into little fucking.
Yeah, but you were in Haiti, right?
I was just being an adventurous little silly boy, adventurous little dummy,
But I haven't fully adventured
but
that
you're
either.
fucking 24. You've already sorted out your fucking business if you wanted to do it. But you're fucking, you're sorted in a way because you have a choice. You can go back to Australia, you'll be fine, or come here and continue with the business, you'll be fine. So you've got so many fucking options going for you that it's amazing, You made a fucking business here and it's a functioning business.
Yeah.
But it's just you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not serving you, you want to go back to Australia, which is fucking amazing, man. You've already lived a life. Like you're saying today, it's when you're going to get married, because what else are you going to live for? Because you've traveled, you've been to Africa, you've been traveling Europe, you've been all over the fucking places, man. You're 24, dude. Yeah. That's why I want to meet you again when you're 40.
And I want you to be, I want you to be like the current, not surrogate father's a weird way to put it. No, I want you to be like the kind of fun uncle
I know,
that you take care of,
I'll be your fucking kid's uncle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uncle
Grandpa Tom.
Yeah, it's like Grandpa Tom. Yeah, he had the cafe and the jewelry thing, and now he's 60 years old. He's fucking 30 kilos, and he can't.
But I think
what? We need to make sure he doesn't starve.
If you interviewed anyone, you'll come across the same stories. I think with people. Even someone who doesn't have a place, who live in a basic, boring house and doesn't have dreadlocks, and you know what I mean. They'd also have an interesting fucking story.
That's the
Everybody
idea,
has an interesting story, man.
Mate, you're taking words out of my mouth.
So don't put me on a fucking pedestal. Will you?
No. You're just episode like 25 or something. Get in line, brother.
Nice one, man.
No, I think that's the beauty of.
Well, that's my life.
I love it, man. It was so funny the other day. Zav, Ted, and I, like, best mates from home, and Ted already had met you, and Zav, we'd talked about you because you're like top. I mean, probably top character on the lake, at least in my eyes, and at least in my own little journey right here. And we're just giggling away on mushies in the cafe.
That was nice that day.
It was very nice, and like you're in this beautiful cafe. Literally, flowers are dangling, the art's on the wall, the bus is the thing, you're speaking Mayan with the girls in the kitchen, having a little flirty laugh, and it's all going on. Beautiful. And there's just so much feminine energy here, which is obviously what life is for, and it's like living, and it's like, that's just great. And then Tom, who looks the hippie and has his fucking pants and his bracelets and his jewelry and his dreads, but he comes out with like bloody cheap beer and just into the local girls, like screaming at him like he's like the 20-year-old husband, like dumbass, eat, as he like pulls down this like white chicken bloody full of sauce knuckly drumstick and he's like scoffing it down and he's having mushrooms while they're having beer in this grocery. I'm like, this is such a good image because Ted put it very, very well. It's like the beautiful hippie cafe with a dirty generator out the back. It's like you're like on the front, you're like this beautiful hippie crater jewelry cafe, man.
Rusty old fucking dirty fucking thing that you're trying to.
Like the New Year's Eve.
That was great, but that's part of this fucking place as well. Like have fun in the cafe. I want to have fun in the cafe.
Yeah,
I'm having more fun now because the responsibility is less for me. It's still there, but
so much nicer to see it.
Get the girls get fucking on it, and I'm sitting down and having fun, and I'm in someone's cafe. I'm also in someone's cafe.
And it's a really good fucking
enjoy
cafe.
It as well. Yeah.
I remember you were like, it was only, a year ago where you were really tossing up whether you could even come to the New Year's Eve party. You had to pay someone, I think.
Yeah. I still got to do that, though.
Right, but like you were in a position where that wasn't like so obviously
Yeah.
easy in the freedom. But I remember I was talking to Susie at this point. You know, I was like gonna go back home, and this girl, I was like, yeah, like blah blah, and you and Fausto at sunrise after New Zealand, we'd all just been launching it that night. It was hilarious, and then you guys were just really having fun with it. You were like. Had your dreads down to literally the floor, and you're like,
Oh, this was
you're like gremlin mode to the lake, and I was like, I literally had this thing to Susie. I was like, Susie, I have to leave the lake. Because if I stay here another 20 years, I'll be like that. If I don't leave now and I go back to like modern society, you'll see the dreads.
yeah, fucking A, man. You're there already, Timmy. Just don't know it yet, man.
Exactly, it's inside.
Dude, you should really do a podcast on Susie, dude. She has a story and a half to tell. My God, that's fucked up, man. Like, totally amazing story.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll listen to this one, and when I come back, she'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I actually would like to share." Yeah.
But like I said,
there's
we
no
all
pressure.
got fucking stories, man. It's like
everyone.
life, man. So do you, mate. You know.
Yeah.
More to come, and more to come.
Beautiful. Maybe, like, who knows? Maybe a few people listen to this and take something from your own stories.
Yeah, completely, dude. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. I like what you're doing there.
Timmy. Fucking keeping me going.
All right. Are you done?
Yeah, it's done. Should we have dinner? Yeah, let's go.
You hungry?
I will be later. Yeah. Is it still open? I don't know.
Yeah. What time is it, dude? Actually, good point.
Maybe. What's the time?
7:17. Shit.
I'll get something easy.
Yeah.
Like nothing, like a croissant.